Hey guys, if you're here, I'm sure you understand that the video is gonna be filled with some really juicy spoilers. Now that we've tackled the spoiler, let's carry on with the video, shall we? So, Cassandra Nova, as you may know, is Charles Xavier's twin sister, but there's so much more to her than that. Of course, she's evil and all that and serves as a nimble and petite yet obnoxiously powerful supervillain. Someone who feels like a mix of Gene Wilder's Willy Wonka as well as Christoph Waltz's Hans Landa from Inglourious Basterds, but the Deadpool and Wolverine's version of Cassandra Nova has quite a few notable differences from her comic version, especially when it comes to her origin and relationship with Professor X. Yeah, that's what's gonna be the focus of this video. If you like our content, please consider hitting those like and subscribe buttons. Those two small clicks from you mean a lot to us, and they help us in creating more of this stuff. Now let's begin. So, in the comics, Cassandra Nova's life began along with Charles. The two of them shared the same womb, but there was a small hiccup for Cassandra Nova. You see, she was conceived without any physical form or a body. So like any self-respecting consciousness without a body, she copied her womb mate's DNA to create a body of her own. It goes all good for a few days and the two of them share the womb as twins. She grows pairs of eyes and hands and continues to develop alongside Charles. However, she soon decides that she does not want Charles to take birth and tries to strangle the fetus Charles using his own umbilical cord. Now that's kinda dark. How could Charles just let her do her thing and not fight back, knowing full well what kind of evil she was? Yep, Charles knew even then that Cassandra Nova was all things evil. So anyway, he defended himself by attacking her with an uber-powerful psychic blast, which basically led to a miscarriage. Her mother shrieked in pain while Cassandra's lifeless fetus came to Earth. However, she was not really dead. She had survived as this chaotic mass of cells that basically clung to a wall in a sewer for many years. Here, Cassandra took her time to rebuild herself and gain a physical form and learn to mimic the traits of humans. Over time, Cassandra cooked up a belief in her head that the womb she shared with Charles were basically the same as the universe, something that belonged only to Charles and herself. Naturally, she wanted to eliminate all mutants. She believed that everything else in the world, apart from Charles and she, was nothing more than an illusion, something that she wanted to destroy. The illusion, I mean. And of course, she wanted to annihilate the X-Men, who were the key to mutant-human coexistence. Charles' most ambitious dream. Eventually, Jean Grey found out that Cassandra Nova was basically a Mumadrai, a being from the Shi'ar legends, which meant the opposite. According to this legend, each of us, mutant and human, comes face to face with a Mumadrai right before we are born. However, the Mumadrai are basically a species of complex parasites who are born without a body on the astral plane. These creatures attach themselves to their counterpart and try to create a body for themselves, which is what Cassandra did. She used Charles' developing mind and its telepathy to create a body for herself. However, this is not really her origin in Deadpool and Wolverine, where she says she was sent to the void as an infant where she could be pruned. So yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine chose a simpler backstory and simply sent her to the void, where she could grow up instead of creating this whole thing where Cassandra grew as a lump of cellular matter, etc. I mean, I believe they did not have the time to give so much screen time to her while knowing that audiences were in the theater for the two titular characters. But the fact remains that she managed to develop nearly all her powers even as a child who could not even walk yet. After the Time Variance Authority exiled her to the void, Cassandra bid her sweet time to develop an army of sorts, an army of other mutants like Pyro, Sabretooth, Azazel, Juggernaut, etc. Because of just how powerful she was, she quickly rose in ranks and became the leader of these pruned characters, and the only one she felt intimidated with in all of the void was Alioth, the trans-temporal being that fed on anything that came in its path. Eventually, Cassandra made a deal with Paradox. He would tell her about the new people being sent to the void who she could capture and feed to Alioth to satiate its hunger. This would also ensure that Alioth did not attack her or her crew with its full force, so it all kinda sounds like human sacrifices made to keep a beast quiet. Anyway, in the comics, she shares a deep-seated hatred for Professor X, which is true for the movie as well. However, she never really killed Charles's variants. In the movie, she killed many of Professor X's variants and even stole a chair from one of them. As far as her powers are concerned, they are mostly the same in the movie as well as the comics, but it seems that Cassandra has not done anything supremely evil yet. I mean, in the comics, she was responsible for the mutant genocide on Genosha that killed millions of mutants. Additionally, the comic version of Charles was aware of Cassandra Nova's existence and did little to nothing to reconcile with her. I mean, he would have made things better with Cassandra, but she was just so vile and malevolent that Charles could not even dream of something on those lines. On the other hand, Cassandra Nova from Deadpool and Wolverine was different. Let me give you a quick brief from the movie for context. So the only weakness that Cassandra had was a Magneto-like helmet, but since there was none, the only viable option was Juggernaut's helmet. The good guys managed to get their hands on it, and Deadpool put it on Cassandra's head, stopping her from using her powers. While the anti-heroic duo were still debating over what to do with her, Pyro, a double agent, shot Cassandra multiple times. In fact, in the comics, Charles shoots Cassandra some 16 times, but she survives by taking over Emma Frost's body. Anyway, so after Pyro shoots her, Cassandra fails to regenerate because her telepathic powers were being restricted by the helmet. Now, if Deadpool and Wolverine removed the helmet, the first thing she would do was kill them. But not removing the helmet would have meant that she was gonna die a slow death, and Wolverine would have to witness such a death, something that Professor X would never want. So in order to honor his mentor's memories, Wolverine appeals to Cassandra's heart if at all there was one. He tells her that Charles did not know that she was in the void, because if he did, he would have done anything in his powers, even tear a bloody hole through the universe to bring her back home. Although she tells Wolverine that the void was her home, it was evident that she was not emotionless. He goes on to tell her that like Professor X once took a chance with him, Wolverine would take a chance with her. Lo and behold, Cassandra does not kill the titular heroes and even paves for them a path to return to their world in order to stop the other bad things going around. So yeah, the second most important point of difference is the relationship that Charles and Cassandra shared, or the lack thereof. Curiously enough, the comic book Cassandra is absolutely apathetic towards other people's feelings and sufferings right until the very end. In the movie, however, she seems to have more empathy and sympathy, basically more emotional intelligence. When she phases her way into Wolverine's head to see his memories, she learns the things he did or did not do, which led to the brutal massacre of his loved ones. At this moment, she seemed to be genuinely moved by the trauma and pain that Wolverine was carrying in his heart all along. I truly did not expect any emotional maturity from Cassandra, but hey, I welcome it. To sum it up, Cassandra Nova's character has been toned down a bit for the movie, but I'm not complaining. It fit the film's narrative, so it is fine. The important question is, will Cassandra Nova reappear, or is she finally dead? In the comics, her latest arc suggests she has been stranded 2 billion years back in time. Now, we've seen just how powerful she is, and she has a history of surviving tough situations. In fact, she often says that her most important superpower is the ability to survive. So, do you think Cassandra survived the end of the movie and would reappear again? I mean, it is a fact that Disney has the rights to basically all the Marvel characters, and they would not have to pick and choose. With confirmed news that Robert Downey Jr. would be playing Victor Von Doom in Avengers Doomsday, it is totally possible Cassandra makes a re-entry into the MCU, but that's just me. How about you guys? What do you think? If you like our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.